Okay, here we are live. Hello everyone. I can see a lot of familiar faces in the chat here. Thank you for all of you to taking the time to come to one of my streams at Hugo's desk. This week, as you probably know from the title, today we're going to continue our deconstruction series. This is our fourth deconstruction series video. And I hope my sound is coming through correctly. I hope it's all good. Please do let me know if the sound is not as good as it should be. Just keep me posted and I can adjust it, of course. So today, this stream is sponsored by Foundry. It's all about Nuke compositing. Remember that we are here streaming every week, and we alternate between showreel reviews and compositing like we are doing today. Because this is a stream sponsored by Foundry, you probably already seen the links on the chat. You also have a pinned link. If you want to win a Nuke Indie license, which is completely a gift from Foundry to my community, you can just sign up to the giveaway. The giveaway is on the pin message and also on the chat as well. And I'm giving away two things today. We're giving away the Nuke compositing course, and also I'm giving away one of my Nuke courses as well, which I've also put on the chat, that currently it is 60% off. So I should actually have this a bit closer to me so that I can see this here. Apologies for that. So right now my course is 60% off. So just going to put it here. So that's my online course. So I'm going to be giving it away today, but it's never been so cheap. So until the end of the month, to celebrate the spring, we are doing 60% off on both my courses. Okay, just wanted to let everyone know there. So use that QR code if you want to sign up if you want to, but obviously maybe wait until the end of the stream, because you might be one of the lucky winners of the new course that I'm going to give for free. Now also, we also, as I said, we have the Foundry giveaway. The Foundry giveaway, that's the link and that's the QR code as well. Apologies, I shouldn't have been there, should be there so I don't cut the link. So I've dropped the link on the messages. You'll have the QR code there as well. Foundry always supports my channel so much. I can't thank him enough. It's because of them that I have my channel. It's because of their support every year that by sponsoring these streams and giving to the community so much that I keep doing these streams. So thank you so much, Foundry. It is amazing that you do this, and I'm super happy that you not only support my channel, but you also support other channels in the industry as well. Thank you so much also for supporting Victor Perez' channel as well. As you know, Victor Perez is doing streams every week as well, but he does them on Tuesdays. I would really recommend you go and check out his YouTube channel, Victor Perez Node by Node. He's amazing, and his streams are so good and quite unique in the industry. I don't even think that anyone whatsoever is doing what he's doing right now in terms of what he's showing in the stream. So it's quite advanced, it's quite unique. You should definitely go and check out what he's doing. And with that in mind, I'm just going to run a Foundry commercial. It's a very short commercial for those of you that don't know how the Foundry runs. We'll be right back after this message. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Foundry's Nuke is the industry standard tool for compositing in the film and TV industry. We've produced and curated all the essential resources for learning Nuke and preparing you for the profession, as well as recommendations for other training resources. You'll learn compositing fundamentals, rotoscoping, keying, tracking objects, color management, 3D compositing, and much more. Our objective is to empower artists with all the knowledge they need to push their skills to the next level. Jump in and start learning today.
Okay, I can't thank enough the Foundry for supporting our channel, my channel like that. Thank you so much. So the link is on the chat already. As I said, if you want to be part of this giveaway, just join the link. It's free, so you can just do that. I also, before we jump into Nuke and before we jump to all the stuff we have to cover today, I just wanted to let you know that next week, because of work, I am unable to do the stream, so I'm not going to do the live stream of showreel reviews next week, next Thursday. I'll be back the week after. I do apologize for that. It's a very unique situation where I have a project to do and I can't be available to do the stream, but I will be back the week after, don't worry, and we will compensate. I'm planning to do 2 streams, so I'll be back the week after. So I'll be back on the 4th of April, I think that's what it is. I can't really read it from here. Yeah, 4th of April, that's the next stream, which will be the Deconstruction 5, which is already up on Hugo's desk on the channel as well. And last but not least, I just wanted to announce someone, since I have you all here, and I promise that after this we're going to go directly to Nuke. I just wanted to announce that I am so happy to announce that the cookbook that my wife has been doing for a long time now is finally out. I am very proud of her work, and I just wanted to announce I have the book here. So this book, if you are interested in good food, please consider checking it out. I've put some links on the description on the chat as well. I am so excited by this, because I'm extremely proud of Anna and what she's did here. For all the food lovers, you guys know that I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for a long time, Anna as well. We're practically vegans, and as you know, I'm always advocating for good health, good food, for you to rest, for you to have a good time. And this is really a perfect book if you want to try something new. You don't need to be vegan. You don't need to be vegetarian. You can definitely try any of these recipes. They're super easy. I can vouch for that because I've eaten them all. So this is, yeah. Oh, thanks so much for saying that the design is good. Thank you so much. The cover, by the way, I should post some photos. This is a real photo. So this is not a photo montage. This is an actual photo we did on a piece of board of wood with little photos and little pieces of ingredients. And it's an actual physical photo. It's not a photo montage. It's an actual photo. And the same goes for the back. This is an actual photo. So yeah, the book has 50-something recipes. Obviously, I'm going to go to the back here, which is my favorite sections, which is the sweets, of course. So you have stuff like this, like some nice tiramisu and some nice salami as well. And yeah, check it out. Even if you don't, even if you're not vegetarian or if you're not vegan, these recipes, you can find the book on hardcover, which is this one here. Or you can find the book on paperback as well. And yeah, I'm extremely proud of this because I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of Anna of she doing this. It was a wonderful project we did together. I helped a little bit on the photos and I helped a little bit on the design, but this is all her, all Hannah. And yeah, support the book if you find interesting. And of course, if you can always send it to your friends, to your colleagues, to your loved ones. If you know anyone that likes good food, maybe consider that. I'll put a link on the screen. That's the QR code. Obviously, that QR code is for, I should put myself here so I don't cut the QR code. Well, I'll take myself out. So obviously you can buy it on paperback, hardcover, or Kindle. That QR code goes to the UK shop, but you can buy it on any Amazon. So it's available on the UK, on the US, in India, in Germany. Any Amazon shop will have this book. And yeah, I can't thank enough everyone everyone being so kind on the chat here. Thank you so much. And I can see Anna is also here. So I can see that Anna is also here. Thank you so much. And and yeah, I'm extremely I am so proud of Anna of what she's accomplished here. So I can't if you like good food, consider following it. And yeah, in the channel, of course, I've already mentioned many times Anna's YouTube channel called Green Recipes for All as well. Very proud of this. So we'll talk a little bit about this again later. And yeah, and that's it. Like, so apologies for all these links and all these things. As you know, I always like to do a little intro. Also, it gives the opportunity to people to come in for the stream. But yeah, today and again, thank you so much for the lovely messages on the chat. Thank you so much for that. That is really nice. Yes, no, that's right. I did. Anna tried these recipes multiple times, and yes, I have had them all. I've eaten all these dishes multiple times. I was the guinea pig of this entire project. Okay, so I'm going to jump into Nuke. So today, I wanted to, as I said on the last time that we met, I wanted to kind of like wrap up the deconstruction we were doing, which was the deconstruction of the Heroes Arena trailer. And then I wanted to jump to a new trailer. So I'll show you the trailer that I wanted to jump, because I think I've kind of like reached the limit of what I wanted to say or showcase on the other project. So I think I'm going to move on to a new project to show you. As you know, these deconstructions are all about showcasing real production. So all the shots you're watching, all the Nuke scripts, or the Nuke scripts we did at the time, they're not made for tutorials. They're not, pre-prepared. Not at all. So the new trailer that I wanted to go through and discuss was because as you know, I think I have like, how many do I have? I have a lot. So this is going to last quite a while. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 projects that I want to go through these streams. So this is going to take a couple of years. So I also have live action and footage based projects as well that I want to show. I wanted to deconstruct the Zeiss project. I want to deconstruct the Leonard in slow motion, the BBC God Only Knows, the BBC D-Love, all the production projects that I've been permitted by my clients to show. I will try to show them here. I can't show everything because not everything is covered and not everything I can show. Some things are NDA, then some things are private and I can't really talk about it. But this is the project that I wanted to start jumping into, although I'm still going to wrap up a couple of things that I wanted to show on the other project. Then we're going to jump into this project, which is The Walking Dead March to War. This is a mobile game, but this was a very special project for me because I directed it, I art directed this as well, and it was a quite short project that we did with a very, very small team. And yeah, it's I'll talk all about it in a second. So, but before we jump into this project, and I'll show the project in a minute, before we jump into this project, I'm going to just wrap up the other things. Yeah. And I can see on the chat here, Shahid is asking, a lot of students are waiting for the deep assets. They're asking about the files. Please share the files. I know, Shahid, I apologize for this. It's been quite tricky to get access to the deep assets. Because I lost them, and so I had to rebuild them, and they're not really up to spec, and that's why they're not available yet. Because I had to redo them, and I had to render them, and it's not matching what we have, and so that's why we're a bit behind. I do apologize that the files are not available yet. But if you need to train on assets that have deep, you could use the racetrack. Those assets are free. You can find them on my YouTube channel, and they're also available on the showreel material that I've provided to all my students. So the racetrack is a full deep thing. So if And in fact, it's actually even better than the other deep equipment, the other deep material that I have on the course. So apologies for just like going on a tangent here, but I just wanted to like not this, like I just wanted to like show real quickly here my channel what I'm talking about. It's a live stream that I did some years back. If you go all the way to down here, let's see here. So I think, yeah, it was this one here. So the racetrack, Nuke and CG deep compositing. So this is, of course, I have to watch a commercial now. Of course I do. Okay, let's see here. So this stream here, the racetrack, is the one I'm talking about. So this stream, if I go a little bit further, that's a deep render. The links for these files, I want to show the files, but I can't seem to. There you go. The links are down here. You have the links down here, and also I've sent out these files together with my student material for the show reel, so you can go and check that out. And it is true, Studio Devs, you have a lot of projects in the games industry. I do, yes, because I've worked a lot in the games industry, and I found that the games industry actually it's a lot easier, and also they're a lot nicer to handle, and they more easily allow me to show things. I found that the commercials, television, and film are very, very rarely I'm allowed to show anything. And in fact, from that side, I only have a couple of projects from the mill and a couple of short films that I will be able to do here on this stream. I will never be able to do some of the commercials I did at the mill because we're not authorized. So the games industry, I feel they're a bit nicer and a bit more open to show things. And I find that really refreshing, you know, like they do that a lot. I think it has to do with the way... I feel like that's because they are, you know, they are used to sharing things, really, if you think about it. Like, the games industry is all about sharing. It's all about having streams. It's all about having, showing in depth how games were made. So I think they just have a different mindset. I think that's why that they are more open to that, you know, to show things. I think that's it. But before we go into the Walking Dead thing, and the Walking Dead will be the next one we're going to do on these deconstructions, and then after that, I'm planning to jump into the Zeiss project. That would be my next one. So that would be that. Maybe I should do a vote, and that probably will be easier. Maybe I should do that. But yeah, as I said, like now I'm going to start this project, The Walking Dead March to War. We just did the Heroes Arena, which is down here. Where is it? A bit blind. Yeah, that's the one. I've already previously did Homefront, so I'm not going to do that one because I already have videos on YouTube about that. I will also do The Crew, and I will also do Walking Dead is now. I will also do Vermintide. I've already done as well. I will do Sniper Elite 5 as well. I think the next one after Walking Dead will be Zeiss because it has live action. So that would be my idea as well. Yeah. Marcelo says, I'm taking the Nuke course and I'm learning a lot from the sinister Nuke. Oh, that's weird. Why am I sinister? I'm sinister? Are you scared? That is a weird thing to say. Yes, to do Divis. The Zeiss thing is actually a larger thing that I'm doing. The Zeiss thing, I'm not only doing these streams, but I'm doing a course for you guys as well about it. So that's going to be a bigger... I'm going to do this after FMX, to be honest, because I'll be at FMX next month. And I'll be doing 2 talks at FMX. And by the way, I forgot to mention, if you are going to be at FMX, please reach out. I'm going to be doing 2 talks at the... I'll be doing a talk on Wednesday. So I'll be doing here this talk with the Foundry. This is a talk with the Foundry called Foundry Education Power Hour with Simon from Framestore, with me and Victor Perez, and also Kristen as well from the Foundry. So all 4 of us will be there on that panel. And then the other talk I'll do at FMX will be on Thursday. I'm very proud to do a live episode of VFX Notes on stage. So me and Ian are going to do an episode of the podcast live on FMX. So this is going to be with the amazing Michael Fink. He's an award-winning, Oscar-winning supervisor who's been working for years, you know, from Batman Returns, Mars Attack, X-Men 2, Golden Compass. I mean, he's been working on some of the biggest films ever, and we're going to be doing a live episode on show. So those are the two things I'm doing at FMX. And I think when I come back from FMX, I am planning to then start these Zeiss commercial streams. That's my plan. FMX is not public. No, it's in Germany. So you have to go to Germany to be there. It's going to be in April 23 to 26. So it's roughly in a month from now. And it's going to be in Stuttgart. So if you are in Germany, just reach out if you want to say hello or if you want to do that. Yeah, Michael is amazing. He's absolutely amazing. The nasty desk of Hugo. Sinister. I can't believe someone called me sinister. That is so funny. Why am I sinister? Why am I sinister? This is so funny. Okay. Okay, anyway, let's just open up the shot that I was going to show you. So, as I said, I'm going to wrap up some of these shots that we talked last time so we can jump into the new project. So I only had a couple of things that I wanted to show you, and I think it has to do with the way the rain... So last time we stopped on 6:30, so let me just open that shot up. I think it was 6:30, so we were going to do this shot here. As you can see, I have a lot more shots. So if you guys feel like I was going to jump into a new project, but if you feel you want me to come back to this older project, I could do that. I could come back later. When I ran out of things to show, I can always double down and go to a previous one. Okay, so this was the last thing I showed on the last stream. So we do these streams every 2 weeks, and so this is going to be the last thing I showed, which we were talking about the rain and the droplets and everything. And so that was the shot that we discussed last time about the rain and about how the rain was set up. So a very similar shot was then made for Alvin as well. So this was the last one we did when I stopped the stream. But I wanted to open up, where is it? That would be the 620, I believe. So that would be 620. So that would be the shot before this one. And I think that's going to be the last thing I'm going to do with this project for now, because I want to jump into the other project. Unless I can't remember off the top of my head if I already showed this. I think I did. I'm just going to open up real quick. Okay, a lot of errors there. That's not good. Why am I getting errors? This is... just a second. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, it's that one. Oh yeah, no, this is almost the same thing again. This is not the one I wanted to show, but I think we're pretty much done with these shots. I mean, they're not much different from what you've seen on the other shots that I was showcasing, because I mean, they're all comped the same way, to be honest. And in fact, the rain here, there's just like passes of rain. As you can see, this is the pass that we had for the rain when he hits the shield, which is, I might need to gamma it up because it's a little bit too dark. So I think I'm not sure we need to kind of like go through this because it's quite the same thing as last time. And these are the rain hits that we did. So we produced like these special passes for the rain to hit him as well. And I think, let's see here. Yeah, I forgot to set up the shot with the lightning. Now I'm looking at my notes. Apologies, I should have done this before, but I'm looking at my notes, and my idea was to showcase this shot. I think it was this one. No, not that one. Not that one. Which one was it? 610. That's right. It was this one. 610. That's the one I've mentioned that I wanted to like show. So apologies. I didn't open. I opened the wrong shot. Apologies. I should set up my 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 garbage truck on fire when I get into troubles. Apologies for that. Opened the wrong shot. So many shots, like so many damn shots. Okay, 610. That's the one I wanted to do, not this one. I opened the wrong one. I was a bit confused over there for a second. Apologies for that. Don't worry, we have time. We're not doing any redirects today, so we're not on the clock today. There's quite a lot of people asking me questions while I'm waiting for these things to load. Ragul Rolg95 asks, hello Hugo, what workflow software do you use for converting camera files into EXR for VFX? I am working with S-Log3 and I'm wondering. So I use DaVinci for everything. DaVinci is the way I convert all shots from raw camera, because DaVinci is always the most up-to-date software with the latest codecs and the latest versions of Red, of Sony. They're quite quick on updating their SDKs. So I always use DaVinci. So I use DaVinci with ACES, convert them from the raw plate of that camera, of whatever camera is being used, into ACES linear in EXR. That's the way I use it. Yeah, the reason I wanted to talk about this shot real quick before we jump into the other project is because this shot was... It looks simple, okay? I'm going to just play it back so that I can show you. Yeah, DaVinci is. I mean, whenever I can, I use Nuke Studio. So Nuke Studio is very powerful for conforming, but it doesn't always work because Nuke Studio is really good if I have Red files or if I have Alexa files. But as soon as I start having Sony files or MFX or weird codecs that are not up to date inside Foundry's Nuke Studio, especially if it's not Blackmagic. So if it's a Blackmagic camera, the SDK is always going to be a bit behind. So I would advise you to use the actual native tools. So if you're using Blackmagic, use DaVinci for sure, majority of cameras. But for example, if you're using Red, I would recommend you to use the Red tools. They're really powerful as well. So that would be what I would say. Now, the reason I wanted to show this shot, just because of two things. So this will probably be what we will do before the break. And then after the break, we'll jump into the other project. The reason I want to show this project is two things, this shot. Seems simple enough, but there's a lightning going on here, as you can see, with a lot of flashes of light. And the other thing as well that happened here is this thing on the floor here. This thing on the floor was something that happened later. So remember during the trailer, I'll remind you real quick here. So during the trailer, there's a part here where Goodall jumps into the air. I think it's here or something. Let's see here. So I think it's here. I'll put the sound because why not? I think it's before. It's when he jumps here. Yeah, there you go. That's when he breaks the floor. Yeah, see? He breaks the floor there. So obviously, because he breaks the floor, this was something that happened quite early on. So this power plasma ball here that broke down the floor and destroyed the floor, and which in fact, this plasma ball, this would have been a shot that I probably should have opened, but this was basically made with 3D simulations, and then I used a lot of displacement maps to actually displace. You see all these heat waves here that you have here. So that's kind of the way that was made. I don't have this shot prepped to open today, but we could always come back to this project later on. I don't think it's a big deal. But just mark one thing here. So sorry about that. Transformations. So that would be... yeah, that one. So when he breaks the floor like that, then the client came back, oh, where's the broken floor here? And so we already wrapped up CG by then. And so we had to do this in comp, this entire thing, including the interaction with the lighting and everything. So we ended up, this was a combination of efforts. We got a bit of 3D and a bit of stuff on top there as well. So I have, let's see here. So that's the rain. That's not it. Where is it? This is a really large comp, by the way. So reason this is such a large comp is because we have all the different lightings and we have all the different characters being tweaked between everything. So let's see here. I can't emphasize enough. Remember, I told this on the very beginning of these streams. This is sRGB because I don't have access to the LUTs that we used to have at the time. So it wouldn't be sRGB, but it is right now because I'm doing the stream. Normally, at the time, I had a specific Rexon 09 converted. I had a LUT, and also I had like a calibrated monitor for Rexon 09 to do that. I am not doing that right now. Okay, so I think it's down here. I believe so. Yeah, that's the one. So that's the floor I used. So this is an Action VFX thing that we had, and I'm gonna do input here so I can show you. Obviously, this is animated. We don't need the animation. This is similar to what I showed on the last shot as well, where he was dragging through the floor and you kind of saw that going on, you know. It's kind of like that. Oh, sorry, I by mistake I did a mistake here. I have a backup recorder here, and by mistake I had like the wrong thing being recorded. Oops. So I don't have a backup now for the entire stream, but that's fine. So obviously we don't need this to animate. So this is a piece of stock from Action VFX, and I frame hold it, so I had the hole. And at that time, the CG background, which was this, had a very subtle thing going on here. So you see, so that was the version that we had on the floor, which has the lighting there. You see, so that's the one. And that was too subtle. The client asked, oh, we need something more powerful than that. And so what we did here, what we ended up doing was this. So if I go to the floor, where is it? That's the camera, that's the floor. And so we use the 3D system to understand where that floor would be. So it would have been here. And then, so I'm just going to jump into this here. I think it was here. Just a second. So we have that gets rendered here as a card. So now it's attached to the camera movement, you see? It's actually attached. The reason for that is because in here, we are using the same camera from Maya, and then we have the card exactly where it should be. Now, obviously, the proxy geometry is not here anymore, but remember last time I showed you the proxy geometry would be... I don't have it here. Oh, I have it here. So that's the proxy geometry, which I'm loading now. This is how I found out where the floor would be. Now, I never have this switched on the comp because this is really heavy to be running it. And so I had to kind of like... I really advise you to switch all this off when you're working in the comp because it really slows down your comp. So that's the floor. That's that floor, which is this floor. Then I have the background. So I have, this is the background CG. And of course, I'm not going to go through this again, but we have all the typical diffuse direct lighting, reflections, all the AOV composites that we did here, which I'm not going to go through because we already covered this many times on the other previous streams. So if you go and watch deconstruction 1, 2, and 3, you'll see what I mean. And I have made a really nice playlist for you to play it all if you need to. So once you're doing that, then once you have the fogs and you have all the treatment and that's the final thing, then that gets in here. And what I did here was I did a luminance mask from this so that I could have this, so that I could have like a brighter mask light. So this is like a luma key from the brighter lighting. That was one of the things I did here. So if I play this back, it looks pretty rudimentary, but it kind of works. Kind of works. And so we did that, and it kind of looks like this. I'm just kind of waiting for it to play. It looks like that. I did 2 of them, actually. I'm going to go to a brighter part so that I can show you how that works. So if that brighter. There's 2 of them. That's this one as well, which is the reverse. So that's the reverse, and this is this one. And then once I have this thing here, I did an auto crop because I just want to process just this whole. And then I basically did a grade with the highlights. And so basically you use this as a luminance mask, and you grade with the highlights, and then you grade again, and I graded a little bit to make some holes as well, and graded even further, and then that gets merged on top. Then we got some debris that were requested by the client. We put some here as well, so that there would be some debris around, because the client asked if we could have some rocks scattered. And so what happened there was that we then had this thing, and then we merged that. So you see, that's the extra hole that we put in. So if I look there, that is the extra deeper hole. And so instead of going back to CG, what we ended up doing here was like we used a combination of cards and a combination of color corrections to try to get in here with a darker and deeper hole. That was the idea behind this thing. And I think it's quite successful, to be honest, because if you don't have this, it's quite round and quite straight, and the hole is really not very nice. It's very fake, you know, it's very phony, that hole. In fact, it's like really nice and even and rounded up. This just breaks it up and gives it more debris, gives it more life into it. It gives it little sections that are more broken. It also gives you some artifacting that it looks like the camera start trying to catch up with that hole. And it just gives you like a more realistic hole. This is a really small thing, but I just wanted to like show you kind of like how in CG you could do things, but you can also, of course, fix them in comp as well and do those kind of things. There's a really interesting question here from Studio. Studio Divis is asking, you mentioned sRGB. What color space are games delivered? PC and video game consoles. I think for HDR is Rec 20. Yeah, so for HDR, yes. For HDR, it would be Rec 2020, but depends on the type of HDR. If it's PQ or if it's HGL, or it depends on what type of HDR. There's many HDR flavors in the industry, but that's if the game is HDR. If the game is not HDR, most commonly, most games, because they're supposed to be played on a TV, they would be delivered on a Rec 09 because that's to be played on a TV. But I have seen games that look like are in sRGB, and in fact that on the consoles themselves, you can switch to full or limited. So you could have like limited color, almost like Rec 09, or you could have full, which is a more RGB Rec 09 type of look. So that, of course, makes the game more contrasted or less contrasted. So kind of depends. But that could be kind of it. But yeah, I've noticed that lately, the PlayStation 5, for example, is delivering games in Rec 09 a lot of times. But Nub is correct. Most games are sRGB, especially games that are on PC and not really just in consoles. But I definitely would recommend you to play games in HDR. It is just so much better. It's so much better. It's not even a joke. It's really much better. I think that's the only thing I wanted to show here, because the rest is pretty straightforward. Obviously, we have the cutting of each of them because I want to like tweak them, of course. But previously, on a very early phase of this shot, we were thinking of having separated lights that we would composite one by one, but then we ended up giving away of that notion because it was too tricky to set up, and so we ended up like merging and baking the lighting. let me just show you the versions. Might as well show you that, because before we leave this. So this was version 1, which was just the Play Blast, really. Nothing more fancy than that. And then I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see a bit better. Someone on the chat here, Shrinkpad, is asking, is FX PhD course good? Is that a general question? Because in general, their courses are good, but is there a specific course that you're asking about? So that's version 1. Then we went, of course, to version 2, which is a much more organized layout. We don't have floor yet. That was the version 2. And then we went to version 3, where we had some lighting and some shading for the characters. Then we went to version 8, which we now finally have the floor, the water, some depth of field. We then went to version 9, almost the same thing. No rain, no lightning yet. We then went to version 10, no rain and lighting. At this stage on the project, we didn't have any rain yet. As I explained last time, there was a time during this project that we didn't really have any rain. So we stayed with this version quite a few times. And then finally the rain came in. That was on version 12. That's when the rain came in. And then after that, version 13, we still don't have the lighting. And then after that, we finally got in the lighting. No hole on the floor yet. And then we went to version 15. We had the version of the floor there. And then version 16 with the breaking up floor as well. And version 17 is the latest grade shading. Version 18, a few more adjustments in depth of field, water, quality. And I think that's the last version. That's the version. And we moved the floor as well. You see the floor is moved here, which is funny. So yeah, that's the last version. And I think that's it. I mean, I don't really have anything else to show you apart from that. I think before we go to the break, maybe before we abandon this project, I might just show you one last shot and then we do the break. This shot needs to be on Nuke 12. So do tell me on the chat, because now you have the opportunity to watch these streams, and you can always watch them later. Do let me on the chat if you somehow want me to return to these later on. I can always do that. I can always open one of these shots. I always have loaded into my system all these shots, so you can always ask me, oh, I would like to know about that shot or this shot. Just ask me, and I can open that up later on. But I think this is the last thing I'm going to show from this project. So let's see here. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so reason I wanted to show you this shot is because this shot is so simple, and I really love this shot. And of course I'm biased because I did the project, but I love this shot of this character. Well, I'll tell you my favorite shots. One of my favorite shots is this one. I'm gonna remove the sound. This one where it rotates. See, that's one of my favorite shots. I really like that shot. I really like the stage design we did there, where she drops into the floor, and then as she jumps, the camera rotates with her. Really like that. And then my second favorite shot is this one here. When this girl shows up here, then she jumps through the moon. And this is such a simple shot because this is only no staging, no layout, no CG. We literally just have the character with a simple animation, and then we just did a matte painting. And so this is probably one of the simplest shots we've had. So this is basically this matte painting, really. Nothing fancy. We have some stars. The matte painting is all split, of course. We have, might as well just split, show you there. So we have the whole split there. So we have the stars, and then we have the moon, just the moon, of course, with the alpha channel. We then have, might as well show you here. So this is a really simple matte painting. And then, of course, this was placed on the 3D system like we've been doing. Then, of course, there's some depth of field and some motion blur and some light wrapping. And here the light wrapping is really really important. So Roger is saying, I always tend to think Windows is better than Mac to work on comp, but my mind blows up when I see Hugo working on a Mac. It's really, Roger, I don't want to start a war here, but Mac is so much better than Windows for compositing. I'm so sorry. Because the Mac allows you to have so much more performance in terms of video playback with DaVinci, with graphic cards and capture cards, and it's just better for 2D. I'm sorry. All the Window lovers there, I hate Windows. I use Linux and Mac. I don't use Windows. And yeah, I think Linux is definitely better, and that's what I use in production in most of the companies I've worked. But in my house, I use a Mac, and since you're asking, this is the Mac I'm running. I'm running the Mac Pro 2019. I have 28 cores, Xeon 2.5. I have dual graphic cards, so I have two of these. So I have two Radeon Pros with each 42 gigs of VRAM. So I have 64 gigs of VRAM on my machine, and I have 384 gigs of RAM. And the reason I bought this machine is because this machine allows me to have up to 1 terabyte of RAM, and I'm not there yet. I only have 384, but I really like this machine. This machine is incredibly powerful. It's already 5 years old, and it's real time in 4K, real time in 8K. I can do whatever I need on this machine. So I really definitely recommend people to not disregard the Mac, because it is really powerful, and in fact the Foundry finally has made all the copycat nodes. Now they finally have Mac versions, so the copycat for a long time was Windows only and Linux only, but now it detects the GPUs. So if you have an Intel Mac like you can use the AMD cards, AMD cards, and because I have 64 gigs of VRAM, it's quite fast. But if you have a new Mac, if you have the M1, M2, or M3, the machine learning tools also work with those. So I really recommend you not dismissing the Mac, because the Mac is an incredibly powerful machine for compositing, an incredibly powerful machine, especially for video editing, DaVinci, and grading. I kid you not, been using a Mac since 2004. So it's been 20 years now that I've been using a Mac. A G3, a G4, then a G5, then I bought a Mac Pro 1, a Mac Pro 4, and then a Mac Pro 6, and now a Mac Pro 7. So I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I've had 6 Mac Pros. I had 6 Mac machines in the last 20 years, because they last a long time. Usually they last 6-7 years before I update. And right now I've bought this in 2019, and with the specs I have, I don't need to upgrade until maybe 2025 or 6. So it lasts a long time, and I can still upgrade the RAM to 1 terabyte. Well, actually 1.5. I can upgrade to 1.5 terabyte of RAM if I want to. Not that I need to. I really don't. Now, if you're doing 3D or simulation, that's also not a problem. This Mac that I have dual boot, so I can boot to Windows. And so I can actually dual boot, and if I wanted, I could triple boot to Linux. Didn't mean for this to become a discussion about Mac and Windows, but my machine is the most agnostic, because on this Mac Pro, I can run Linux, Windows, and Mac natively, because it's an Intel Mac, so I can run Windows natively. And so in fact, for a long time, I had an NVIDIA card on this Mac Pro, so when I booted to Windows, I could run the NVIDIA on Unreal, so that also works really well, all in the same machine. So yeah. Well, Victor uses, yes, he used the Mac Pro, but he also uses a HP Windows machine. I know that. I think, yeah, well, RAM, no, I'm never going to run out of RAM. I have almost 400 gigs of RAM, so... but yeah, but no, there's another thing as well that I must say, not anymore really for 3D CG and simulation. A Mac is not that bad now, especially with the M1, M2, and M3. They're quite powerful, so don't... Obviously, if you guys play games, that's fine, but I don't play games. I have my PlayStation 5 over there on the back there. That's where I play my games. I don't play games on PC. So I think I think this one, because it's an Intel Mac, it's much better because you can adjust and buy new things. I think the M1s, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not. I'm happy with my Mac as it is. Anyway, going back to this thing, I think I've wrapped up everything I wanted to say about this project. I think the last one I opened was... I have so many open now. Which one is it? I don't even know which one it is. I think maybe it's that one. No, not that one. This one maybe? Yeah, that's... No, not that one either. Maybe that one. Yeah. Yeah, I was just about to say that, of course, this lives on Live Spirit's light trap, and I do have two light traps setting up here, which are merged individually. So I have that shot and then one broad light trap and one thinner light trap. But this is a really simple shot. I just wanted to mention it because sometimes the simplest shots are the nicest ones. But I think I'm going to wrap up these shots. So I'm going to wrap up these shots and we're gonna do a break now, and when we come back from the break, we will then start a brand new project. And as I said, we're gonna start this project, which is The Walking Dead, very different from what you just saw. And I have two shots that I want to go through on this project, but then 2 weeks from now, I will then return to this project again and show you another two shots. And then after that, I'll go to the Zeiss project. So I'm doing it one at a time. But yeah, let's do the break. And don't forget, of course, as I mentioned, we do have the giveaway of the Nuke license. Don't forget that. So if you are interested on getting a Nuke license, yeah, apologies, Francesco, that it went off topic, but that's a stream, you know. That's what it is. Of course, it goes off topic all the time. But just to wrap up and while I leave the QR code there for you guys to be able to win the Nuke Indie license that I will do at the end. An Intel Mac is really much easier because you can adjust the RAM, you can adjust the hard drives, you can adjust the GPU. I think the Intel Mac, like especially the Mac, I think the Mac Pro 2019 is the last Mac that I will really enjoy. I think I'll have to consider a Linux box after. I'm not so sure about the new Mac Pro that they've done. It's very weak. The new Mac Pro M3 is incredibly weak compared to my machine, and so I'm not interested yet, but maybe they'll do a better one. If they do a better one, I'll be there because I'm very agnostic. I'll do whatever we use at the time. But I just prefer Linux and Mac to Windows because Windows is just a bit daft in terms of controls and in terms of how the things operate in the system. But okay, so don't forget that we have this giveaway. And also, if you want, you also have the giveaway of my Nuke course as well. And so my Nuke course is also for free today. I'm going to give one license to everyone, to one person on the stream. So go in and do it there. And yeah, I guess that's it really. So we're going to do a break now, as usual, 10 minutes to rest your leg, get up, get some water, rest your eyes for a bit. I'll be back and then I'm going to showcase the project. Showcase how it was done. I'll start by showing some of the versions and showing some of the deliveries that we did to the client, and then we'll go through the project, and then we'll obviously won't finish today, but we'll continue the next few more streams to continue with this project. No, Studio Divas, there is a Mac Pro with an M processor. There is. The new Mac Pro, the new one, the 2021, has an M3. It has an M3 chip in it, and you can upgrade. You cannot upgrade the RAM. That's why I don't like it. So, okay, cool. I'll see you all later. 10 minutes from now, Get your timers. I'll be right back. And don't forget to stretch your legs. I'll see you very soon. Okay, I am back. Thank you so much for all of you being here. Thank you so much. It's been great. We already had 400 people watching today. That's fantastic. I can't thank everyone enough for the amazing support they give to me, and also, of course, to Foundry, which is the reason we are doing this stream. Thank you so much, Foundry. Here it is, the T-shirt to prove it. Thank you so much for all the support. It is amazing to have your support day in and day out for us to do these streams here. So yeah, we're gonna continue. So as I said before, we are not going to continue the shot that we were doing. We're gonna go to a new project. So I'm gonna start by introducing the project, and then we'll move on. As I told you many times, you have the giveaway for Nuke Indie, which is pinned on the chat. So you can always go there, and it's a free Nuke Indie license, which is £500, so it's worth it. So I'm also going to give away one Nuke course license as well for one lucky viewer as well. I'm also putting that on the chat as well. If you're interested on my Nuke courses, my Nuke courses are the cheapest that they will ever be. So 60% off, celebrating spring, both my workshop courses and also my Nuke course as well. Both of them are 60% off. And just like I mentioned before, really wanted to let you know that my wife Anna finally has released her cookbook. I am so proud of her. So if you are interested in some nice, really good food, vegetarian food, vegan food, whatever, you don't need to be vegetarian, you don't need to be vegan, just feel free to consider buying this book. It was a labor of love that we did for the last 2 years. I helped Anna with the photos and the design as well. I'm incredibly proud of what she achieved with this, so I am sorry that I keep bringing this up, but I am so proud of her, and I'm so proud of being part of this project. And consider buying it. It's available on all Amazon platforms. You can buy it on hardcover, you can buy it on paperback, or you can buy it on Kindle as well as a digital book. It has 50-something recipes, including some really good desserts. Look at that one. Look at that lovely. Look at that strawberry mousse. It is lovely. Look at that. It's beautiful. But yeah, consider that. I've left the link of the Amazon UK shop on the chat there. But obviously, if you want to buy it on other shops, you could do that. That's the link to the UK shop. But if you just search Green Recipes for All, you'll find it on all Amazon shops. I am incredibly proud of her, and I can't recommend it enough, especially because I've tried all the dishes. Okay, so let's get going with the project. So we're going to start a new project today. Start deconstructing a brand new one. Let's see here. I'm going to start by showing you the trailer that we're going to deconstruct today. That we're going to start deconstructing today. So I'm going to start with that. And then we'll move on to starting the actual comps. And also, as before, I brought a bunch of stuff here that I want to show, including the final trailer, some breakdowns, some keynotes and versions that I want to show. So I'm going to start by showing the trailer itself. I'll put the trailer in full screen so you can watch it first. And then it's just 1 minute long, so let's watch it together, and then I'll start deconstructing. Okay, very proud of this one, so enjoy.
I think we'll be safe here. We've got to move into the city. We can rebuild there.
They're coming. We're gonna die here in this alley.
And we're almost out of bullets. Almost out of everything.
There's no food. Our supplies are cleaned out. You think we
Best case scenario from here, it's 2 days walk to safety. Walkers, the whole way. I guess they're safer than the other people out here.
They breached the door! Walkers everywhere!
She's bit.
She's bit? What do we do?
Help me! Do you think we'll finally be safe here?
My world, my law.
Please, please, don't take her. She's all...
We live or we die based on what we decide right here, right now. Do we run?
No!
We stay. We fight. We take it back.
Okay, so this trailer is for a game. It's not available anymore, by the way. So this was an iOS game, an Apple and Google game. Unfortunately, the game is not available anymore, which is a shame. But thank you so much for saying that you liked the art direction. That was the whole thing. So this project was a labor of love, really. We worked on it for quite a few months, and I was the director of this project, co-director with William O'Connor as well from Fire.Smoke. So we directed this, the both of us together. And I did the art direction, compositing, and then I had one Brockhouse that did the lighting and rendering and lighting. And some of the compositors were Bjorn with me as well. It's the usual team I usually have with me. And of course, I just need to shout out to the amazing art direction that I did together. I'm going to just open up the credits. It's just easier instead of trying to remember the names of everyone, because I'm terrible at names. I might as well just like open up the... Oh, I don't have the list here anymore. Oh, I forgot. I think I had the list somewhere else. I do apologize for that. But we had a wonderful team. Next time I'll bring the credits. I don't remember off the top of my head the credits of everyone involved. But I will do that next time. But this involved Nuke Studio, it involved Photoshop, Maya, Redshift. It was a mix of 3D and 2D. And I was the co-director, the supervisor, the comp artist, editor, and colorist as well. Now that we've seen that, I wanted to just show you the breakdowns of some of the shots, just so that you see how that looks. Let's do that one before we move on to going through versions and everything. So I'll do that just for a second. I'll be right back. Okay. Yeah, so I was just like mentioning that I didn't have the full list of credits, but I'll promise that I'll do the full list of credits next time I do it. But I just wanted to mention that the main concept artist and main painter of this project, together with the art direction driven by me, was Robin Florie. And so he was amazing at this. Also, we had David Gibbons as well doing a few of the paintings as well. So the both of them were involved in the project. I'm just going to find... I usually have the credits on my website. I'm not entirely sure why they're not there, because they should have been. But maybe I had some kind of... It is strange that it's not there. But at least I'm going to like shout out to Robbie, because he did an amazing job, Robin. Just gonna I'll put my screen in a minute. So let's see here. So that would be desktop 3, this one. So that's Robin Florie. He was one of the concept artists that worked on most of those paintings together with my direction, of course. He is still working in the industry today, so he does a lot of really cool art direction and a lot of really concept art. So if you guys want to check out his work, because he was a pivotal part of this project, just keep and check out. I don't know if he has some of the work he did here. I'm not sure. I mean, was quite a few years back, so it's probably here somewhere, but I probably have to like scroll all the way down until we see something. It's probably here somewhere, but I'm not entirely sure if it is here. I do know he has a YouTube channel as well. And yeah, so check him out, because he was amazing on this project. And of course, David Gibbons, which has also been working with me for a long time as well. And of course, Juan Brookhouse with the CG. So this project kind of like happened with Fired Out Smoke. I was directing it for them. This was, of course, a project that took quite a long time, and it had a lot of permutations. It was entirely composited in Nuke, and the reason I wanted to showcase this project is because, in a way, it's a different type of project than the ones that we usually show on this channel. It's a very stylized project, and it's a lot of graphical elements in it. And the reason also I wanted to kind of go through it is because there is quite a lot of specific things that happen during the project which are very common, like things that changed and deviate, and we kind of tweaked, and you'll see as I go through the versions now that this project had very permutations, and in fact it was very different from the one you're seeing here. We had a lot of different versions of this, and it was a lot less stylized. We ended up like getting a lot of inspiration from the comic books, and that's what this is. This is the amazing work that Robin and David as well did with this, and then Juan Brookhouse helping in the CG, and me and Bjorn on the comp. We just tried to get as much as we could from the comic book, but that was not the case in the beginning. The project was not supposed to look like this, and so let's go through it. And Rick Guerrero, thank you so much for saying that. Much, very kind. You're very kind. I'm definitely very proud of my wife for sure. I keep seeing these Nuke scripts bouncing. I'm just gonna close them, okay, because they are annoying me, just like bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. They keep like doing a pop-up. It's because of this. Okay. The annoying render farm of Nuke is always like breaking. We're gonna just like kill all these processes on the background. So many processes on the background always that Nuke has. So let's jump into this. So as you know, I always send these keynotes to the clients. We've talked about this on Heroes Arena. I have 4 keynotes here. Now, these are quite big, so I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but this is what I mentioned to you before, that I prefer to send to a client a keynote presentation so that they can fully understand what we're talking about. That way I can show them references, I can show them, I can show them what we are doing, I can show them, it's just a different way to communicate. Email, you send a text and maybe you attach a picture, but it doesn't have the same impact. And in fact, most of my clients started getting together on the boardrooms to watch these keynotes. It became an event. And so I am very proud that we've won a lot of jobs because of this. So I'll start by this. This is the first one. This is the March to War reference keynote. I believe this is the first one. So the first time, we had an animatic and then we had a storyboard as well. So I think the storyboard was earlier. Yeah, that's before. I'll get to this in a minute. So I'm going to just run it for a couple of minutes just to see the kind of vibe of trying to start a project like this. I'm going to just run this. Hello and welcome to this Fire.Smoke presentation. This is a very short references keynote for the Walking Dead March to War trailer. After playing the game and reading the comics, we really identified that the best approach for these trailers is to use as much as the art style from the game and the comics as possible. This will provide a way to distinguish ourselves as much as we can from the Telltale series and also from the actual TV show. On this keynote, we were going to be talking about two concepts. For Times Change, we are thinking of using time-lapse as the main narrative device. As you saw in the script, we will start in one street and in one single shot, the camera will start moving towards a player, which we see in the distance. As we move forward with the camera, we see in time-lapse the absolute decay of society. We see people being killed, we see zombies invading certain areas, we see fires breaking down, buildings getting destroyed, we see a lot of looting. As we see the street decay. Okay, I'm going to stop there because obviously I don't need to show you all of this, but as you probably already guessed, this is referencing to the first shot, that trailer of the street where everything is going. Now, this is the first version of this keynote where we showed quite a lot of references of what we were planning to do. At this time, it was going to have more CG. It was going to be more rendered than actually being so stylized. So that kind of changed during the trailer. And I think that I find it fascinating to see these keynotes and to see how the project evolved, There was also a time that the client was very into these kind of graphical intros, so I have some references here. I'm going to just show you that section as well. On the other hand, on the other concept called New World, it's a very different approach. Taking inspiration from Seven's intro, we are thinking of using the juxtaposition of several graphics, live action, maps, and texts to actually tell the story. Taking inspiration from the Games of Thrones intro, showcasing maps and showcasing locations, using some double exposure effects by using silhouettes, and using outlines of the game's characters to showcase small vignettes in the actual trailer. These vignettes could be anything from shaking of hands when they are about to do an alliance, or someone actually moving a crate of weapons, or even a doctor helping someone with a first aid kit. Showcasing some... And in fact, the funny thing is that we ended up referencing our own work. So this was a project I did for the Division, and we ended up it was fascinating for me to put actually references of my own work on a keynote with references, so I was very happy with that. Yes, the client wanted stylization for sure, but we were still undecided about it, so I'll put this section again. Kit. Showcasing some real-life examples, here's two productions we've created at Fire.Smoke. This first one was created for Ubisoft's The Division. It showcases the merge of live-action elements together with actual gameplay and together with graphical elements and maps and text, creating a narrative of graphical elements. On this second example, also created by Fire Without Smoke for Square Enix Just Cause 3, it's a bit more abstract because it does not have maps or texts, but as you can see, using clever combination of live action and elements from the game together with silhouettes and outlines, you can really do amazing vignettes to tell the narrative of the story. That is it for today. Thank you. Okay, so I almost showed the whole thing. Apologies for that. So that was the first time we sent something to the client. And I think then, let me just double check here real quick. Yeah, so then we ended up, the client gave us some feedback and told us what he thought. And we then wrote a script as well, which I think the script is somewhere here. I think it is. Where's the script? The script is here somewhere. I saw it just yesterday when I was preparing for this thing. Where is the script? Where is the script? Yeah, there you go. So we actually wrote the script as well, like for us to be able to do this voiceover as well. But and then we kind of moved on to a storyboard phase, which was done by Robin as well. And so me and Robin sat down and did a bit of a storyboarding to try to see what we could do. And what you're going to see here is very different from the final project, incredibly different from the final project. Hello and welcome to this presentation from Fire Without Smoke. This will be a short keynote for the Walking Dead March to War trailer. Together with this keynote, we've included the PDF of the storyboards. We've also included a video with a temporary voiceover and a temporary music track, just to have an idea of tempo and also to start blocking shots. As you can see, we're using a combination of different types of styles and elements to make this story work. Always being faithful to the graphics of the comic book and the graphic novel, and also the graphics you have in the game, we're going to use a mix of techniques, using from illustration to silhouettes and also time-lapse effects. But it will never look photoreal. It will always be very much linked with the graphic novel. I think the best way to actually... Okay, so I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to show you then what we delivered together with that. So we ended up doing basically a reference storyboard with some music and also I'm gonna remove the sound, and we actually started building the animatic or the boardematic, I guess what you would say. There are shots here that are not on the final trailer. Yeah, thanks for saying that. Robin did an amazing job with the drawings. He was really fast doing them. So Robin was the artist that I've just shared on Instagram there. He did some really cool stuff there. Let's do this. I'm sorry. I apologize for my nose. I'm a bit under the weather, so I'm like doing this thing with my nose. I do apologize. I know it's really, really annoying. Main is asking, when is the giveaway? The giveaway is going to be at the end of the stream. So I would say that the giveaway probably would be, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes from now or something like that. So if you want to come back there, or if you can stick around and just be here, you are more than welcome. Like everyone here is more than welcome. Okay, so then from there we progressed a bit more. Let me just double check and remind myself of what this was. So this was still the storyboard, but we started having some tests. I'm gonna go to the tests here to show you what I mean. Will change very rapidly when we start, filming some elements and also starting to do some composites and some 3D. Now, last time we spoke, we talked about using the outlines of the characters and using images inside and out. And we spoke about having white backgrounds and also dark backgrounds. And I think there's a really great opportunity to play around with especially the dark ones. And so you guys really like these concepts. And I think we now went one step further, because instead of using only the character art that we got from you guys, we were thinking of using real live plates of real people that we can then convert. Yeah, so at this stage, we were starting to think to use real plates. And we did these tests to show the client. And we started experimenting. How would it work if we would use nighttime as our way of showing the characters' outlines? We then started experimenting this with the main characters of the game, using outlines and using light and backgrounds, and especially nighttime really allows us to play around with silhouettes, play around with guns and elements, and really make sure that we show the full characters like you were suggesting on the suggestions from last week, but still do not reveal their characters. And so then we went, of course, one step further, and we actually even started starting experimenting with. Okay, so there's a question here, which is an interesting one from Hugo by Zach. Hi, Zach. He says, appreciate you sharing all this. Do you mind sharing the timeline between each of these keynotes? So you're not talking about the timeline of the editing, right? You're talking about the timeline, the distance between them, right? So I can tell you that right away. So this would have been February, then March, April, and June. So we started in February, and then we were over in June. So this was February, March, April, May, June. So it was about 4 months between. I've only picked 4 keynotes here from the first to the last, but as you can see, there's 8 of them. I only have 4 here. There's more keynotes, but I'm not going to show everything here. Otherwise, we're never gonna leave this place. But yeah, it was about 4 months of work, and this was the entire. Keep in mind that you'll see in a minute. This was not 4 months of work. Okay, so this was 4 months of the whole thing, getting the script, getting the storyboards, and then doing all these versions and all this work to try to get to something. Because as you can see, all of this is not even in the trailer that you saw. None of it. So this is not even where we haven't even started working on what you saw on the final version. This is very common. Clients change their minds and clients have feedback, and also clients have clients. Like, don't forget that we have the game, but we also had Skybound, which are the makers of the comic book, and then we also have the the studio that is doing the film and the studio that is doing the TV show. So there's a lot of levels up of approval here. You have to handle the game studio, then you have to handle the film studio, then you have to handle the comic book studio. All of them have to agree, all of them. So this is multiple meetings and multiple keynotes and multiple backwards and forwards and feedback loops, and it takes a long time for you to even to start something. Like, I'll give an example. I'll talk about that when I do the Sniper Elite. When we did the Sniper Elite project, Sniper Elite 5, it was a whole year. Like, we probably spent, I don't know, 6 or 7 months just on getting to what we were going to do, and then we started doing it. So this takes a while. Obviously, I could say that maybe perhaps today, because this was of course a few years back, I do think that today my clients probably would have had a round of AI generated content first, and probably themselves, they would come up with stuff with AI, and then they would probably show me those things that they would have made an AI, and then we would have done those. But the difference here is that I, as a director, hired Robin to do these, and then we together did them, and then we got feedback. So I guess the difference now would be that maybe the client would be doing some of them in AI, and then we would speed paint them on top and doing all of that. Yeah. And I think in here I don't have any of the footage yet. I don't think so, no. So I think that's on the next one. So that was keynote presentation 6, and now I'm going to go... Oh, did I jump? No. Did I jump one? No. I'm going to go to 8. I think this is the one... I think this was... Yeah, this is when it started maturing itself. So this is the last keynote we delivered. I'm going to just show you real quick. Then I'll go through the versions. I just wanted to show you how much has progressed since April all the way to June. So this is now June, several months later. Hello and welcome to this keynote from Fire.Smoke. Basically today I just want to really quickly just talk about Edit 10, since there's quite a lot of things to talk about. There's a lot of shots, so I figured maybe a really short keynote explaining the differences in the new shots would probably be beneficial before our call. As I sound so tired. This is the end of the project. I sound so tired. you probably already noticed our edit is not matching our script. I do apologize about that, but unfortunately the visual effects and the shots and the CG is always a bit behind the script since we're still changing the script at this moment. So the script version 13 that you saw does have some new shots, and it also has new voiceover against this edit that I sent. I'm going to start really quickly with the war room shot. So the war room shot is basically a shot to try to represent what you were talking about on the comments about them getting together and grouping themselves. So this is the first version of the war room shot. We thought that we were seeing too much of their faces and it wasn't really in line with... Yeah, so I'm going to stop there and I'm going to just like go through a few versions of this. Then we have a bunch of shots. Some of these shots never showed up on the trailer. And there's also... Where's the other shot? There's another one here somewhere. Can remember where it is. Oh, maybe it's not here. No, I think, yeah, at the end here there's some shots that never actually went through the edit together. But yeah, we're looking forward for the call a bit later on. Okay, cool. I'm gonna stop here, and so we've done the keynotes, and I just want to... So as I explained many times, this is the method that I prefer to communicate with my client. Now, having said that, we've also did quite a lot of versions, and I just wanted to go through a few of these because, you see, while we were doing all of this, we did these versions, which had to do more with getting the characters mixed with the environments. These were just concepts that we created at the time, giving to the client choices, and then, you know, the client would say, oh, I like 9, oh, I like 3, I like 2. You know, we kind of like did negative versions. We did a lot of graphic versions. And I think then we had these ones, which for a long time, this is what the trailer would look like. But we kind of like went and also we did this, which never showed up on the trailer at all. And a time lapse. We even did this. We even did like a full... which was interesting. Why can't I open this? This was like a full drawing. This was David Gibbons that did it, not Robin. But why is it so slow? Yeah, so you see we have like several stages here. We have that stage, and then the stage of burning, and then the stage... As you can see, there's a lot of work here that... It's not that it was not for nothing. It's just that it was not used. Let me just double check here. What else do we have here? So we also have some more backlight concepts here that we never ended up using. I really liked those, I really liked these, by the way. But it was a shame. For me personally, as a director, I wish we would have done this. I thought it would have looked great, but that never happened. We even did comps. Look, this is a time-lapse construction shot that we actually did with Robin doing all the drawings and then we showing them in composite. This was actually never on the film, which is a shame. It was almost done. We also did this one as well, which was time-lapse of the buildings being broken up. This shot also ended up never being in the shot either, which was a shame. Really enjoyed this shot as well. And these were early tests of animation. We also had these kind of tests of animation we never did. We also had this idea of having real footage merged with the drawings. This was, of course, a phase of the production where we were trying things out, and seeing if it could work. The client didn't really like this, and to be honest, I liked the dark ones. This was something we shot for real. So these are three of the artists from Fire.Smoke just like pretending to be people from The Walking Dead, which was great. And I thought so this is drawn. This is actually, someone is asking, this is actually drawings with composites in Nuke, and this is footage. This is actually people that we've tweaked and did color correction and did Nuke composites to make it look like CG. So these are actually people. This is actually real people that we shot with my camera. I went to the studio and I shot a bunch of them. We then even did a new version of this shot. This shot was an evolution. We even had like this breakup of flickering that we ended up never using. We did this as well on this one as well, which was really cool to do. and then we actually had some fires. I really liked that. The fires were very graphical. You see here, like the fire kind of has like this kind of very graphical nature, which I really loved that. I thought Robin did a great job, especially this one here. Look at that fire. So this is Robin's drawings here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see it. Robin's drawings here, and then this is actually Action VFX fire. This is Action VFX fire being converted to drawing, and then the puff of smoke is the same thing. So these are Action VFX elements that we've converted to a cartoonish method to try to kind of make that effect. So that was cool. Really enjoyed doing that. Let's see here. What else do we have here? So this was our unsuccessful, a very unsuccessful method of trying to make drawing style from footage. Incredibly unsuccessful. I think these days with machine learning, I probably could have done it a better way. I thought it would have been nice if we could have done it with machine learning, but we didn't have machine learning at the time. These were just like more time lapse. Yeah, you're right. Like the nub, you're right. I like this idea of time lapse drawing. I like that. This was a horrible stage of the production. I really didn't like this because we were sent the assets from the game and we really didn't knew what we were going to do with this. We at some moment we thought maybe we could use this, but very quickly we gave up because this was just so different from what we were trying to do that we ended up like kind of giving up on that. Which I'm happy for that. So this was one of the tests of using 3D with the drawing, and I don't think this works. I didn't like it, but you know, there's some cool stuff here. Looking back, if I look at this now, I think there's something definitely here. But I don't know. Like I feel like you know, it's not really the style that I wanted to do. I did like these ones. These were done by the wonderful After Effects artists at the Fire.Smoke, and they did these like really cool nighttime animations. As you can see by now, it's so much stuff on these shots that are not even on the final trailer. You saw the final trailer. It's not even there. None of this is there. So I thought it was fascinating. A lot of work, you know, a lot of composites, a lot of backward and forwards, testing things. There was moments that the client was happy, moments that clients were very unhappy. There were moments that we thought that we were going to be over and the client didn't want to do the project anymore. There were moments that we were super happy with what we achieved. This was really difficult. And so I think that Terry is asking, Hugo, how do you do these type of drawings in time-lapse in Nuke? Seems like the perfect match for After Effects before layers. Well, I use Nuke because I'm just faster in Nuke. You could definitely do it in After Effects, but it's the same process. I use layers in Nuke, and then I fade and shade and reveal. So basically, this is a Photoshop file that I'd get given by, like, for example, give an example of this one. I'll go through the comps and probably not today anymore, but maybe today, maybe not. I don't know. We're running out a bit late, but we're gonna stay with this production for a couple of sessions. So don't worry. If we don't open everything today, we'll open it in 2 weeks from now, and we'll open it 2 weeks from that, because we're always here every 2 weeks. Remember, I'm always doing streams every 2 weeks here. Do remember, though, that I'm not doing a stream next week just because of my work. Unfortunately, I am unavailable because of work to do a stream next week. So I'll be back the week after that. We already talked about that. You know, that the next... we already talked about that. The next stream, if you want to mark on your calendar, is on the 4th of April. So that would be in 2 weeks from now. We will continue what we were doing here. So just keep that in mind. Just wanted to like give you a quick reminder there. Okay. But yeah, that's really it. That's how we did it. Like if you go frame by frame, you see this is a Photoshop layer, and then we fade in things, we fade sections, you know, we do roto soft mask, we fade them in. And what had to happen was that Robin had to draw various versions of the same drawing with several stages, and then we mimicked the time-lapse effect inside of Nuke. So let's see here. Heberrek said, considering that no these days this would be much more trimmed, could you maybe give us a rough outline of the budget for this project? I don't know, like I think the budget, you know, I can't remember top of my head, but it was not a lot of money, a lot at all. I think perhaps it was like maybe, I can't remember top of my head, but it probably should have been like maybe 30 or between 30 and 50K or something like that. It wasn't much. It was a very cheap production. So, yeah. But this is all paid work. We worked during but we were a very small team. You know, we were only 4 people, so we were a very small team. Keep that in mind. Let's see here. We also had a cloud version, which we tried as well. Some bodies, we kind of abandoned that because client thought it was a bit too grim. I agree with them. And we kept going. We then did close-ups as well with cars burning down. Again, as I said, this was all done with Action VFX processing. So we basically had, in this case, David Gibbons gave us, you know, David Gibbons gave us the stages, and then we used fire, and we did these layers of rust that he gave us separately. Then we had these fire elements that were put in 3D, and they were basically Action VFX elements converted to look like graphics, you know, especially the smoke and the fire. And we tried our best, of course. We always try our best. We also had these kind of like flary moments that we were testing. It was a bit too much like the Just Cause 3, so we kind of abandoned that. I think the client wanted something a bit more unique for what they wanted to do. These were like other versions. We also had the guns that we were given a lot of drawings from them as well. And then we did this fire being built here. We also were given a lot of zombies from them. These were assets from the comic book that we referenced to. There was a phase that we had a lot of references given us from the client. So there was a time the client himself gave us reference. So they gave us these references of something that they wanted to experiment with, but we ended up not using it really. Ended up like not being really like this, you know. I think that number would be even hold up today's standard. Very well done. Yeah, it was. We are very efficient. I prefer to work with small teams. I prefer to work with long-term small teams because it's much more creative. We can get to the bottom of things and experiment a lot. And I try to do as much as I can myself. So I did the editing, I did the art direction, I did the compositing, I did the grading. So because I'm doing so much, putting so many hats, you know, I can kind of like bring the price down. I don't mean to be disrespectful. Obviously, I feel like it's a bit like the Godzilla director did with Godzilla -1, you know, where he did a lot of the work. I work like that. I've been working like that for 10 years, and that's kind of how I operate. I like to do a lot of things and try to do as much as I can in a production to try to lower the cost. Noni asks, can you please tell me the reason behind the double exposure? I don't know really. I'll be honest. I have no idea why we did the double exposure. I don't know. I can't remember. Top of my head, I can't remember anymore. We then started a new phase in the production. We started doing a lot of these research with forests, with highways. This is very influenced by the comic book. So we started like playing around with this idea of having forests and having... Also, we did have some CG, especially Megan's bat. That was a very important part of the story of the comic book. So we did a lot of tests with that. And some of them were quite nice, like this one. I really like this one. the breaking of the glass, and these are all composites done in Nuke. I really like to experiment in Nuke, but again, they were never used in the production. The Beretta as well, we have like this kind of with the bullets and the guns and the blood. We ended up not using this, but we ended up using a similar shot to this, I think. And this was another version of the same thing. And I think then this shot never came to fruition. So we had this girl, which was a stock piece of footage that we then used. This was the idea behind the blood, and this was a 3D projection inside of Nuke. This shot almost made it to the final project, ended up not being used. And then we had the dark alleyway, which is very similar to the one we have. As you can see, the 3D layers in the projections. This is where we couldn't really do this in After Effects. We had to start doing it in Nuke, really. And we ended up having a more grim, black and white, three-dimensionality look to it. Again, similar. Then we started having zombies, by the way. I need to talk about that as well. We started using some other styles as well to try to get this to work. This is much similar to the final version of the shot, actually. And we kept going with versions, you know. Yeah, no, I agree. A small team is always best. Every project I've directed is a small team every time. I just prefer to do a small team. Prefer to have very talented people, few of them, and a long period of time. I like that. We then started. You've seen this shot before on my streams. We then started having the zombies. The zombies was really fun because we ended up using a Kinect to animate the zombies. And, you know, we got the models. I think this one here. Yeah, so I think this one here, yeah, this one never came in as well. We kind of gave up on the glass. I think this is more similar to the one. These are just versions. We're experimenting with looks that kind of look like drawings. We were experimenting with paintly effects, watercolor effects. There was a phase during the project that the client wanted to look more like watercolor and more like painting than anything else. So we went through that long and I think at this stage we started having more versions of the shots. We had aerial maps of the shots. It just started evolving. At some point we had color and zombies, and then we didn't have zombies either. I mean, it went through so many phases. Oh my god. I'm now looking at this and I'm like, oh my god, we went through so much stuff to do this. I didn't even remember how much work we did to this. Damn. This is funny to look back and see all these experiments of drawing, experiments of paintly and drawing and pencil. I feel like I feel like it's funny. Like, it's funny to look back at this because this is a long time ago already. This was 2017 that we did this. So this was already a long time ago. But I'm still very proud of this work for sure. I think now we are starting to finalize the look, really. I think then we gave up on... Oh, we still have the glass here. These are just versions of the same thing. Just go back here. These are the same shot. Oh, yeah. At some point, we started having these kind of like red transitions. Oh, yeah. And then we had a new shot, which was the Capitol as well, which that kind of came in. And then we had the hilltop, which was also very important for the client because they wanted to connect with the comic book. Now you're starting to see shots that are closer to what we ended up doing on the... This is a projection in Nuke. You start seeing shots that are closer to what you have on the final project. So the project started maturing. Not this, though. This is not on the project. That it was supposed to be. And yeah, I think... And then this was the last shot that we put in. We had two versions of this. So... Yeah, that's a good question. I go by Zach is asking, were you working on other projects at the same time? No, I wasn't. I try as best as I can to just do one project at a time. I just don't like mixing things. I really don't. I like to do one thing, and I'm focused on that thing, and that's it. Like, and so if I can avoid, I'll do one at a time. This is my favorite shot, so I really enjoyed doing that one. And I think that's it really. Like, I don't really want to spend much more time on this. I guess it's already quite late. We've been running for 2 hours, and I want to do the giveaways as well. So I'm not entirely sure we'll go into the comps, but I might just do a tease then of what I'm going to show you. So the next, the two shots that I want to go through, the first two shots that I want to go through, or these two. So this is one of the shots that I want to go through. I've prepared the composite in Nuke to show you this, especially the CG zombies, the volumetric fog forest that we did in Nuke with 3D cards and 3D systems. Really want to go through this. And this by itself went through so many stages. We had a stage where we were going to move the cameras, you know, and we also had a stage where we had, you know, we had camera moves. We then had black and white. Then we started putting zombies. I didn't really like this. We then started moving the camera sideways on a more slower pace. We then ended up putting more zombies where they show up where the trees make wipes and they show up from there. We then, this for a long phase, I feel like we were with this white, and then we went to a darker and darker and darker tone, and then we ended up going with red because you can't go bad with red. It always looks best. And now we're getting closer to the final version, and then as we progressed, we started like getting more and more closer to the final version, to which the final version is this one. That's the final version we delivered. So that shot, I wanted to show the Nuke script. I also wanted to show the Nuke script from this one. I have 7 shots I want to show, but these are the 2 first ones. This is another one, which is using a Photoshop version with 3D cards and 3D models, especially the zombie, and then a flare, of course, to try to get this look and feel. This also went through a lot of permutations. We did this version where we were going up and down. This was an animatic version. We then went to this version slower. We then went to a rotation camera. I really didn't like these. We then were much further away, started having the zombie. Remember the zombie, as I'm going to show you later on. This was CG renders, but we used the Kinect from Xbox to capture the animation, which was so interesting and so cool. Then the camera moves here, and then we moved there. This just kept going, I guess. Let's see here. I think this version, yeah. And I guess that's it, really. So I think where's the breakdown? I think my plan is to, yeah. So on the next stream, I think we're gonna wrap up soon. So don't go anywhere because we have the giveaways. My plan is to kind of go through, especially this shot here. I want to go through not this next time. I'm gonna go through the forest shot, this shot here, which you can kind of see the breakdown here. So I'm gonna go through this shot, which is all these layers in 3D, and then of course the CG characters, and then of course the color correction. It's a quite simple shot, but not that simple. That's one shot I have prepared already for the next stream, and then I have this one as well, which we've used layers and then used 3D systems and also a lot of layering and flares to kind of like get it to work. But besides these 2 shots, I also really want to showcase this one because I think this is an interesting shot to showcase the layering of all of this and all the transitions and the phases that we went through to the shot like this. And then I think the other shot I wanted to talk about is this one here with the sword. It's a 3D projection system in 3D to try to get the floor with some some parallaxing going, and then I think this one with the Hollyway would be nice. It's also a projection system in Nuke as well, projecting the matte painting that we had there, and then making up some reflections, some fake reflections there. And I think then that would be it. I think maybe the I'll go through all of these, I guess, but that would be the plan. Now that you've seen the project, this is an interesting one as well. This one is like a bunch of replications, and then they're all behind a door. This was a very last-minute shot that we used there, which was interesting. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap up for the day. We've been already running for 2 hours, and so I don't really want to do more than 2 hours on these streams because I get quite tired, and I'm a bit under the weather as well. I'm a bit nasal, a bit under the weather, so I just wanted to like present what I'm gonna show in the next few streams. So I think it's gonna, we do these every 2 weeks, don't forget. So we are probably gonna spend the next 3 streams doing this. So it'll be like probably a month or a month and a half of streams that we will do with these shots. But yeah, that would be the next stream. Cool. Okay, so let's before we leave, we have the giveaways. So let me just I hope you've enjoyed this. I see a lot of people really happy to see these and to see the behind the scenes on things and how things were brought together. So don't forget that whenever you want to watch this again, don't forget that I always include chapters on my streams. So if you want to skip ahead, you know, the parts where I'm just like talking about the giveaways or talking about something else, you can go through the chapters, and on the chapters you can definitely just go to the thing that I'm talking about. So I guess you can always go back. I will definitely put the chapters in. The chapters will be put in tonight, and tomorrow you can basically have the chapters there, and then you can guide yourself through the chapters. That's my plan, at least, to always put the chapters the next day, and then you can kind of like go through, and you can skip all this chatting that I do a lot. Okay, so next time, like I said, we will go through the scripts. So like we did with Heroes Arena. On Heroes Arena, I also showed all of this, and then I went to the scripts. So next time, which will be in 2 weeks, don't forget. In 2 weeks, we'll open the Nuke scripts. But before we do that, don't forget that we have the giveaway. So let's do the giveaways. I'm going to put the giveaways on the screen. So that's the giveaway, first giveaway we're doing, Nuke Indie. So I'm going to put the link there on the description. Just a second here. Where is the link? The link is there. And I can't thank everyone by being here. There was 700 people watching today. It's unbelievable. I can't thank you enough for the amount of... I had 700 unique people watching today. You're so kind to give me this kind of timing. I really can't thank you enough. Don't forget also, I'm also giving away the Nuke course as well. So I'll be doing that as well. I put the link on the description now. And if you don't win the course, don't forget that I am currently running a special promotion on my Nuke course, which I'm doing for 60% off. So don't forget that 60% off my Nuke course right now. Both courses are 60% off. So you have the QR code there. Also, the link is on the chat. You can always go through the link there as well. But yeah, I think I'm going to like open up the thing here so that we go through. We'll start with the Nuke course. And before I go, I just wanted to mention, for those of you that don't know or were quite late to the stream today, you can always rewatch it and I'll put chapters later on. But I just wanted to let you know that I am very proud to announce that I have my wife just released the cookbook. This is the book. I have it here. Green Recipes for All. This is a cookbook, a project that I'm very proud that she did for the last 2 years. All the photos we did together. I helped on the photos and I helped on the design as well. This has 50 something, I think 58 really amazing recipes. You don't need to be vegetarian. You don't need to be vegan to enjoy these recipes. Please consider sending the link to your friends and family if they like good food. You know that I'm always advocating for people to have a good life and a good time. So eating good food makes you very happy. Very proud of her. So please consider buying her book. I was very proud to have been helping her with the photos and the design, but this is all her, of course. This book, you can buy it on Amazon. It's available on all Amazons. So it's the link that is on the wall there, the link that is on the chat right now. That's the link to UK. But obviously, you can buy it on any Amazon, okay? Just put the name of the... And I do apologize if I'm pushing the book. I'm not pushing. I'm just like so proud of Anna, so proud of what she achieved. And I just can't you know, I am so proud of what she did. So I really want everyone to experience it and maybe consider buying it. I'm putting some of the links there on the chat, but obviously... You don't need to like use any of those links. You can just go to Amazon, to any of your Amazons, and just like search the book. The book is called Green Recipes for All, and it's available on paperback, hardcover, and on Kindle as well, if you prefer a digital version as well. Consider supporting the project that my wife is doing. I'll be forever thankful if you consider that, and that's it. So this took some time for you guys to all sign up to the giveaway. So let's do the giveaway then, and then wrap up. And then we'll be back, as I said, we'll be back in 2 weeks, okay? Don't forget, we'll be back in 2 weeks. So this is the stream. It's already on YouTube. You can already hit the notification bell already if you want. And I'll be back in 2 weeks to open the scripts. So let's go and do the giveaway. So I'll start the giveaway by the Nuke course. Let's see who won the Nuke course. I'm going to draw it now, and hopefully people are here. And again, I can't thank enough for all the 700 unique people that were here today. I can't thank you enough. I will put chapters, and don't forget there's a playlist with all the deconstruction shots that I've done, and you can always kind of like go back to them and watch just the chapters and do that. Okay, so okay, no, unfortunately there's no paperback on self-publishing in India. Not our fault. Unfortunately, Amazon does not do paperback self-publishing in India. I am so sorry. Perhaps you can buy it on another location. You can always buy it on the US. But I do apologize that unfortunately for some reason Amazon is not self-publishing paperback in India. I don't know why. I have no idea. The same way that there's no Kindle on Sweden. So it's a bit strange. Like it's all over the world, but it's not. It's a bit strange. Anyway, so the winner of the Nuke course. The winner of the Nuke course is... Let's see here. Oh, thank you so much for buying it. I can't thank you enough for buying it. I can already see some people here on the chat saying that they bought it. Thank you so much. Anna will be so happy for anyone that buys the book. The objective of this book is to get more people to eat green. It's not to convert anyone to vegan. It's not to convert anyone to vegetarianism. This is a book for everyone. Just a book for people to consider food that has no meat. Just to consider. And almost every recipe here is vegan, with a few exceptions. But some of them you can replace and put vegan. So most of them you can make them vegan anyway. But consider that. Consider that maybe perhaps you can do some healthy choices on your life and eat a bit more green And you will be helping the environment with that. You'll be helping the animals. And you will be helping yourself because it's very healthy to eat better, you know. But thank you so much for saying that you bought it. I am so grateful for you to all have done that. Thank you so much. Okay. The winner of the Nuke course is Ricardo Guerrero. So congratulations, Ricardo Guerrero. You've won my Nuke course. So I hope you're here. I think I've seen you before already. So congratulations on winning the Nuke course. Don't forget, Nub, one thing I must say, there is quite a lot of recipes here that have egg, but you can opt out if you want to. So there's like, I think 11 recipes that are vegetarian that include eggs, but you cannot put the egg. So it's all optional. But I am like you, I'm a vegetarian, so I do eat eggs as well. So congratulations, Ricardo. I've seen you before here on the chat, so I definitely seen you here. You were here just now, and I think you are still around here. So congratulations, you've won the Nuke course. I'll be in touch. Don't forget that it always takes me a couple of days to be in touch, so don't worry, I will be in touch, and then you'll get the access to the course. But yeah, I definitely seen you a few times on the chat. So even if you're not here right now, I've seen you before. You were here, so I'll definitely give you the course because you deserve. You were here. You were supporting my stream. Thank you so much. Okay, so, and I can't thank enough. Like there were, let's see here. There were, how many people sign up for this thing? Let's see here. Yeah, wow, okay. We had 106 people signed up for the new course. Congratulations for that. And also we have 240 people signed up for the Nuke license. Okay, so let's see who wins the Nuke license. Let's see here. So see that and see who wins that. Okay, so the winner of the Nuke license is, let's just see here. Well, there's also recipes on the book that have vegetarian bacon. So if you want to try that, it's also very good. So there's actually a recipe here that has vegetarian bacon. You can always try it. The winner of the Nuke Indie. I'm going to put the Nuke Indie on the screen, by the way. Might as well do that. I should have done that on the first one. So the winner of the Nuke Indie is... Let me just... copy the name over. Drums, yes. Okay, so that would be... Is that the name? Yeah, that's the name. I want to be very careful not to share the email of anyone. Okay, so the winner of the Nuke license, the Nuke Indie, which was very kindly given to us by Foundry. Thank you so much, Foundry, for the support. So the winner is Manuleta P. Manuleta P, I guess that is the name. So congratulations for winning. Yeah, that is true. It is you. Congratulations, Manoleta, for winning the Nuke Indie license, sponsored by Foundry. Thank you so much, Foundry, for giving away a license like this. So yeah, I guess that's it then. We are done. I would like to thank everyone that was here today. Thank you so much. Thank also to everyone that bought the book. You are so kind of doing that. Anna will be so happy. So congratulations. Now regarding the activation, the giveaways, you need to consider if it's a Nuke course that you've won, and this is for everyone that watched my stream. It takes a few days for me to send you the login. Now, if it's a Foundry license, don't worry. The Foundry is sometimes takes a bit of time to send the license, but they will. They will contact you. Don't worry. That will happen. So, thank you so much for being here today. I can't thank you enough. Thanks to the Foundry. And thanks for buying my book, buying Anna's book here. Thank you so much as well. You are too kind. And yeah, we are going to go, and we're gonna go somewhere else. We're not gonna do raid or do any redirects today because we don't have any streams to redirect. We'll be back in 2 weeks exactly. Don't forget that I do not have a showreel review next week because of work, so we're not having a stream next week, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. Okay, thank you so much. I'll see you all later. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.